Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is the 18th. Wait, did I get that? I'm always looking like, okay. I try and remember what day it is. And yeah, I usually don't look before I start. It's the 18th. It's Wednesday. We tend to like Wednesdays, but it is the second half of December and markets still look pretty quiet. Let's go to the charts and see what we got. I was trying to fix this. I was thinking, like, I need to get rid of this auto scale on this one. Does that fix it? Yes, it does. It fixes it. No, it doesn't fix it. Ah. Wait. We'll try it on this one. Auto scale. Okay. We fixed it. Okay, so here's the big crazy day that we had on Friday, and here's all this nonsense. Okay, so we've been having this thing where we'll go down and we'll... YouTube having some strange connection problems lately. Sorry about that. We're here. Sorry about that. Anyways, I don't know why it kind of will do that at the beginning of the stream. It did that yesterday too. And then it's fine. So I don't know what the deal is. Anyways, Uzi Knesset says, Happy Impeachment Day, LOL. Yes, and that's right. The big thing that we have to keep an eye on today is they're going to vote for impeachment, and I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of good opportunity today. I mean, the overnight range was pretty narrow, right? I'm just wondering here. I'll look up some of these other charts here. It's just like, even in the E-mini, the range is super constrained. How many ticks was it overnight? Oh, I don't have it telling me on this chart. We should fix that. What was that property that we used to get it to tell us? Volume, profile, period. There's this cool property that Uzi told me about. What was it? Show volume labels. Profile summary. Yes, that's it. 8 tick overnight range. Really? That's just so pathetic. That is just so pathetic. 8 tick overnight range in the 10-year. That is like a hard be careful about trading signal for me. No joke. But yeah, they're probably going to try and impeach him. And the Senate trial is going to be interesting. So here's the thing about the Senate trial. They've all been pretty weak this week, says Uzi. Yeah. Well, that's the kind of the weird thing is that there's been like some solid trend in the treasuries, but they're not actually really that interested in trading it, which I find incredibly interesting. I would have thought that they would have wanted, to get ahead of the curve, but apparently they've all decided, we'll just wait until next year. So we'll see. Yeah, so hold on. So now when the impeachment gets to the Senate, it's going to be like crazy. Because here's the thing, like, what is where how Republicans have like 52 seats, right? We have 53. We have 53. 53 with 2 independents, which are really Democrats. So it's 47 to 53. So you get like 2 Republicans to break on something, and it's like a deadlock. And my understanding is that there's no rule in there about what you do in a tie during impeachment, but because the vice president, he normally breaks ties, because he is part of the executive branch, he's like conflicted, and so they don't let him participate as the tiebreaker. And in past impeachments, the Chief Justice has been the tiebreaker. So we could see some situations like Senate Democrats want to question certain people. They want to call certain witnesses, and the Republicans don't want to call those witnesses because they didn't get called up during the House trial or investigation, rather. So they think it's a waste of time. So, but maybe some Republicans might say, sure, why not? So you get, 3 Republicans to vote yes, and then you have a tie, and then they have to do a tiebreaker. And when you get into that sort of a situation, then it becomes like, oh, let's vote on every tiny little procedural thing. Every tiny procedural thing. Like I'm going to bet you that they're going to make it the most boring thing you could ever possibly imagine. See, I read they were talking about dismissing the whole thing. Well, yes. It is going to be brought up, no question. Because they can come in at the beginning. They can say, I vote to dismiss. And then we see what happens. And the Republicans may hold to the line. So I was having a discussion with my old boss yesterday. Because he really does not like Mitt Romney. And he's like, I think Mitt Romney is going to stab him in the back. And I'm like, no, I don't think he is. So we'll see. But that's probably going to be one of the first things, though, is they'll vote to dismiss. Does Mitt Romney vote yes or no? Interesting times. But you know what? It's not going to be interesting. It's going to be the most boring thing you can ever watch. I guarantee it. Like, it's going to be like, okay, here we're going to do this. I object. Okay, let's vote on it. 30 minutes later. This is going to be like that the whole time. This is just going to be a mess. Boring mess. What else we got going on? We might have, you know what? Maybe today we can look at some new stuff. I have a new toy to show you guys. I won't wait until there's a couple more people because I really want to know what you guys think about this new toy. It's not a toy that I made. But somebody else gave me a new toy. They wanted to get our feedback on it, and there are some cool things in it. So I'll show you guys that later. There was this thing going on overnight, man. Somebody come in. Because I don't know this guy, and I don't want to disparage them, but they came in and they're like, oh, really? I'm starting to think that this room that I'm in is kind of a scam, and they're charging way too much for what they're giving me. But there is this one indicator that I kind of like. And I'm like, okay, well, what does it do? He has no clue. He has no clue what it is or what it does at all. And I'm just I'm still thinking about it. Oh my gosh, how can you do that? You trade an indicator? You don't know what the indicator does? Where do these people, how are you supposed to adjust when the market changes? When it's if you back tested it, you even know that it actually works? It's just crazy stuff, guys. Oof, right? I just can't. That's the thing that I think is so crazy is there are people out there that are literally, they will go and find indicators that other people have put out there for free. Oh, you know what? A couple of good ticks up. There was a stack at 13.5, and I wondered if it was actually going to hold. And look, they bounced it pretty good. Pretty good. That signal hasn't been too reliable for me lately, but that one went. Anyways, there's these people. They're paying like $500 a month for indicators you can basically download for free. Right? Trading is hard enough without trying to figure out all the goodies the gurus throw at you to bait you into spending money. Well, he had some kind of idea of what the indicator does, something with Bollinger Bands and one other thing. Yeah, I was like super vague. And like, when I hear Bollinger Bands, I'm immediately like, okay, that doesn't work. So wasn't Bollinger Bands made by Wilder? Let's look this up. Or maybe they were made by Bollinger, because yeah, they were made by John Bollinger. Bollinger Band, registered trademark. Oh, it's a registered trademark. That's interesting. I think that Bollinger Bands, though, is like a perfect example of like an indicator. Is like, I bet you that if you were to go back to like 1930 or something like that, you know, draw your own charts, calculate your own Bollinger Bands on a short-term trading basis, I bet you'd do really well. Harlequin, I've used Bollinger Bands. They work really good on range days, but killed me on trend days, especially counter trend, so I stopped using them. Yeah, exactly. So like, I bet you that way back in the day, you would actually do really well with that. But then as soon as it's like published, everybody tries to fade the Bollinger Band, and then it doesn't work anymore. Like, that is the perfect example of how everybody knowing about it destroys the edge, right? Everybody will try and step in at the Bollinger Band, and then because so many people try and fade the Bollinger Band, then that gives, you know, these other guys, you know, they say, oh, okay, well, I'll just go in and push it just far enough to stop everybody out and then get out. You know, that sort of stuff happens. I'm still getting YouTube's still kind of complaining about how much it's getting. Hope you guys are having a smooth streaming experience. I had, you know, a couple of those at the beginning there that didn't. Oh, it was, by the way, it was a 2000 stack at 13.5. Now, the interesting thing, though, is, you know, I have my indicator. It's based on level 2. It's certainly not like a, how do we say, it's certainly not a silver bullet. It tells you something really important that I don't think you can really see anywhere else, and I'm kind of surprised that this doesn't exist anywhere else. But, you know, I have this thing, and people ask me about it every day. Almost every day now I'm getting asked about, oh, are you ever going to release like the advanced version of it? So I'm thinking like I should, but I just don't like this thing where it's like, oh, you're not making money, so you're making money off of these indicators that didn't work. And I was like, well, no, not exactly. Like, it did work. I'm just like, I made mistakes is what happened. It actually still works really well. In fact, it's been funny since I did that, and then we've kind of been in this period, and then it started working almost every time again. So Uzi says the downside target in ZB was hit at 24. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I mean, that would explain why it's kind of like it moved back up, but it's showing distribution behavior. I don't know, like there was, you know, that signal that we got at 13.5, and they pushed it up 2 ticks, but now it's come back. So maybe they went short there. There was a decent amount of buying there. About 3,000 contracts net. Today is going to be like every day this week. Slow grinds, looks like bad action in the moment, but at the end of the day, you're like, darn, I could have done this. Yeah. I, I don't know. How do they do that, right? So hold on. Do we have, no Canadian, no news. There was Canadian news. We get ADP non-farm tomorrow. That's important. And final GDP quarter over quarter on Friday. That's also important. So there might still be some stuff. I'm still going to stream because we can look at things. We could program some stuff. If you're going to use an indicator, they should be used as a kind of tick the box, not as a precise method of entry. Yeah, exactly, RFO. I'm totally with you. Like, there are two situations where I think the indicators are useful. One is they can show you things that are difficult for you to see on your own. Like, everything is there in the DOM. Everything is there in the DOM, but it's difficult for me to go in and say, okay, well, we moved up there. How big of a move was that compared to other moves that we've had today on a relative basis? It's kind of hard to see. And when you're looking at something like maybe a Bollinger Band or some of those kinds of indicators or RSIs, for instance, that gives you a good idea of how extreme of a movement that was. So that's useful. It's not necessarily a signal, but it's useful, right? It can be useful if that's an important part to your strategy. Or maybe you have a problem with a certain thing. So like one of the indicators that I actually really like for new traders is moving averages. Not that I would ever take a trade off of moving averages. I've tested that and it does not. It's like it really does not work. Okay. Even like all of these strange combinations of moving averages that people use and stuff like that, it does not work. Okay. But why is a moving average useful? Well, the biggest mistake that you're going to make as a new trader, the one that everybody learns, is don't trade against the trend. And when you have a moving average on there, it's immediately apparent to you, oh, you know what? The trend today in treasuries is down. If you didn't know it yet, guys, the trend in treasuries for the past week has been down. Yeah, don't use it as an entry. It's lagging. Exactly. But people don't question it. It's like they get an indicator. I think this is what happens. You get an indicator, and people say, well, they wouldn't put it in the charting package if it wasn't useful. Well, it doesn't work that way, guys. Like I've been talking to brokers and other developers, which is really cool that now we've gotten enough notice that people have been talking to us about that sort of a thing, and they don't. You think NinjaTrader backtests this stuff? Hell no, heck no. There's no way. You know what they do is some guy says, well, I trade with X. You should include it in the platform. And they go, okay, that's really easy to program up. And they put it in. That's how it works. They don't care if it works. And the guy that requested it to be put in, you don't know if he's profitable or he's making money off of it. Yeah, most of the things that I don't know, I've had people come in, they give me very direct, well thought out explanations of how a strategy works, and I'll backtest it, and it's like 1.3 profit factor or something like that, which maybe you covered your commissions, you know.
Uzi Knesset says indicators are good bias filters. Unfortunately, they're also good crutches for retail traders. Something to blame for their failure.
Yeah. Well, so that reminds me of something else that happened yesterday. Actually, I want to go back. We should go back and we should go back and respond to this guy. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Of course, I haven't logged in on Reddit for a while, but it was on Reddit. So you have to authenticate here. Okay. A strategy that seems to work one week might not work another due to changing market environments. Yeah. Here, I should just have these read up.
Harlequin says, nah, don't blame indicators, just blame the market and say it's unfair. RFO Trader says a strategy that seems to work one week might not work another due to changing market environments. Gary Rich says, well, good afternoon, gentlemen and occasional ladies, also the fluid transgenders as well, lol.
Good morning, Gary.
Uzi Knesset says, if I had to blame anything for mistakes I consistently make, it's one simply thing. Not letting the winners run.
Yeah?
Uzi Knesset says, I can get around it sometimes, but that's a lingering mistake that still sits with me at times.
What do you think my biggest mistake is? I think that my biggest mistake is that I will have an overarching theory about the market, and I won't wait for the market to confirm my theory before I trade it. And then when the market does confirm or reject my theory, I get like overly excited and kind of get lost in the chaos. I feel like that's what happened last week. Was like I was trying to go short before the thing happened, and then I was trying to go long before the thing happened, and then when it did happen, I'm making trades all over the place, and I'm not watching the flow, and so I'm trying to let it run, and you just get lost in the chaos. You're what?
Harlequin says, your biggest mistake? Not trading crude oil.
Listen, if they actually do make micro crudes, maybe I will trade it. Totally might trade it if they make micro crudes. But it scares me. I'm not gonna lie.
RFO Trader says, Seth, I've noticed a lot of trades you lose. You are trading top of ranges, then price comes back into range.
Yeah, well, you know what? Last week or the past 2 or 3 weeks, I did that, didn't I? And there was not something that I normally like. It was a problem that I had, and then I stopped doing it, and then I don't know why, but I just kind of picked it up last week. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, like, am I self-sabotaging or something? But I don't think that that's it. I think that what happens to me... hold on a second. Man, I think that what happens to me is I want to do well. And I don't think that it's for you guys. I've been thinking about that really hard. I was like, am I trading too hard because I'm trying to impress the stream or something like that? Yeah, you're going for the breakout. Yeah. I've noticed that the channel actually does better when I'm doing poorly. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but that's just kind of been the pattern lately. Like that day that I put the title as that I blew out, even though it wasn't. I didn't get like a margin call or anything like that, but it was just I took a deeper loss than I was comfortable taking, and I had to trade smaller stuff. Okay. And that video got tons of likes. So I'm sitting here like, you know what? And you know what? There's lots of people out there. They're selling indicators, or they're, educators that were terrible traders. It's totally. It seems to me that the success of the channel is not necessarily directly tied to how well we trade. And it could be wrong. But I think that just for me, I want to trade, and I also don't think it's a reflection on me either. Like, I was talking to Matt from Optimus Futures, and he was telling me this. He was like, like people want to think that if you do well at trading, that means you're smart, and it's not. It doesn't work that way. It's not a reflection of your intelligence or value at all. I don't think that that's it either. I just want to win really badly, you know? I just really want, that's my thing. That's the one thing that I want more than anything is I just want to be good at this and do well at this. And we're getting better at it, but it seems to me that my biggest problems right now are all mental, you know? Yeah, Gary says it right there. Did I not click it?
Gary Rich says 2020 should be working on your emotional state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
All strategies work, it's the failure of consistently executing them over and over. Let the price action come to you, don't force your trades.
Yeah.
Uzi Knesset says I told you. Just FOMO on sim all the time. You'll get more viewers. People will like watching you freak out, fake it, and people will think they can help you, lol.
Yeah, it's totally true.
Gary Rich says fake it till you make it ROFL. RFO Trader says thanks for your honesty, Seth.
Well, I try. I mean, here's the thing. Oh,
Air Cages says I'm still holding my BTC long as per your advice, Seth.
He's saying that because he knows that yesterday I was like, I really don't think it's a good. I think it's short. They got killed yesterday in Bitcoin, but he's still in it. All right. No, like here's the thing. I could go and I could make this elegant course. I mean, I've written some articles and I've been thinking like, okay, there's a couple more parts and maybe that would make a better book because I think that the whole thing together is a thing and you could make a book or something like that. Or maybe I make a course and I charge $10,000 for my course or something like that. And let's just say for the moment that the strategies I've been using that work, even though we had a little blow up last week, they continue to work. All right, cool. And I teach that to people. But then what happens when the market changes, or everybody's using that, and you know it changes the way that it works? And then what do you do? And you haven't learned to think for yourself, to come up with things for yourself, to look at the market as like a problem and try and solve it, and look at your strategy as a problem. Like, you know, I've had this problem. What are the things that I can do to solve it? Like, I get FOMO, so what can I do to solve it? Well, I've got to realize where we are within the volume profile. It's just like, if I'm going to take a trade right now, probably selling into 12.5 isn't the best idea. You know? If I make a course and I just give it to people, I'm not really giving you a long-term value. I want you guys to be able to be here with me because I love talking to you and I want you guys to be here for 30 years. Like, that's what I'm thinking is I want to be doing this at 30 years from now. And the market's not going to be the same 30 years from now. So I shouldn't be basing everything off of some indicator that might not work next month. And so from my perspective, the thing that gives the most value to you guys is building up the community, being honest, and just showing everything so that we see the process. You see the process of getting better. That's what matters, I think. And, you know, and I could also do things like get all excited. And sometimes when, you know, have a good trade, I will get excited and that can bring in viewers, but that's not the main point. I mean, honestly, if we got too big, it might actually be detrimental. So I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I mean, I have ideas about how to handle that if that ever happens, but I digress.
Harlequin says 30 years from now, people will still say Epstein did not kill himself.
You think so? Wait.
Gary Rich says Air Cages is one brave soul. Uzi Knesset says greater than cryptos continue collapse overnight after Chinese scammer allegedly liquidates. Gary Rich says 30 years I don't have that time. I'm gonna retire to Epstein Island and party with adults. I will check IDs. Air Cages says I hope that your current $299.99 subscribers will be grandfathered.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, those of you that are $5 a month. $29.99. There are people that are paying $500 subscriptions a month for stuff. It's ridiculous. I can't believe that people pay that. Why do people pay that? Oh, anyways, Epstein. Here's the thing with Epstein. Don't hate me. Okay, but I've been reading about it and everything, and actually I think he killed himself. I do. Like they interviewed his cellmate, and it seems to me like this is what happened. I think that there actually was foul play involved, but I don't think that they like did him in. He did not want to live, guys. That guy, he knew powerful people were on his bad side. I actually think that, he had a bit of loyalty to this kind of cult of his, and that from their perspective, it was better that you die than give up the larger cult or something like that. I think that's what he was thinking. And so I think that what happened was he kind of faked getting better and did things so that they would kind of leave him alone. And the police were stupid and negligent and left him alone. And maybe somebody was even kind of pulling strings in the background and saying, let's just not, have a camera there and things like that. And he probably killed himself. That's the most reasonable explanation, is that he probably just killed himself. Maybe he was assassinated, but he probably just killed himself.
Harlequin says Seth was probably the assassin and wants to manipulate us.
No.
Don't listen to him.
I have an alibi. I was in Utah. I was here
Gary
screaming.
Rich says prisoners hate pedo people. Even murderers have a code.
Exactly. No, it's a good point, Gary Rich, because the thing that the cellmate, they interviewed the cellmate, and the thing that he was saying was he was saying that Epstein was talking a lot about protecting himself. Like, can I hire, another prisoner to be my bodyguard and things, because they pedophiles do not get treated well in prison. Yeah, so I think that maybe he decided that it just wasn't happening, and he should
Uzi
just end it.
Knesset says Steven Crowder did that little special where he tried to prove that Epstein didn't kill himself by doing a mock-up and measuring force on his neck. You see that?
I
Uzi
didn't
Knesset
see
says
that.
the one thing he didn't do was toss himself off the second bunk in a sitting position. Because it woulda killed him, lol.
Right, and that's what I was just thinking about that. I was like, my understanding was that he hung himself from a second bunk, from a bunk bed, and I don't know how he did that. But I haven't looked at the autopsy and all of that sort of thing. I'm looking at it merely from the perspective of, based on the information that we do know, what's the most plausible explanation? He killed himself somehow. Because, otherwise, how did they kill him? What was, they came in and strangled him? Did his neck get broken from hanging himself like that? Or did he just get strangled? You even look...
Harlequin says Seth, how stupid do you think we are? You even look like the killer in Hitman. Agent 47. Exposed. RFO Trader says must have had short legs if he did it from the bottom bunk.
I don't know. Did he do it from the bottom bunk? I don't know. Yeah, he could maybe jump and then tuck his legs up or something. I don't know.
Uzi Knesset says easy bro, imagine yourself on the second bunk, sitting, push up with your arms, keep your legs tucked, the impact at the bottom would be more than enough.
I don't know. I've never tried to hang myself before. So.
Gary Rich says John Wick killed Epstein. Epstein inappropriately touched his dog.
Oh, you know what? You shouldn't have reminded me of John Wick. Here's the thing. When I was... Where did we go last time? I was flying, With my, oh, that's right. You guys remember the story where we went to Denver to try and get my passport filled, and then they wouldn't fill my passport? And the manager at the thing had zero sympathy for me. It was like, I flew all the way here just because I thought that you guys would print my passport today, and they wouldn't do it. And I flew back and I watched the new John Wick movie, and I got to the part where John Wick talks to like the king of this secret society or whatever, and has agreed to be like a servant of the king or something like that. And then I thought that I would be able to watch the rest of it on the way home, but they didn't have that movie on the way home, so I never got to see the end of it. And now I'm told that there's going to be a fourth movie. In fact, right now, that and the Matrix 4 movie are both slated to be opening on the same weekend, so they're probably going to have to change it. Isn't that funny? Anyways, but you're right. Like, if you're bald, you're either a badass or you're evil. So which one do you think I am? I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think of myself as a badass, but I'm not. I'm not so sure that that's actually true. So you can take from that what you will. So what do you guys think about now that it's at 15? This seems to me like I would like to see it further away from the point of control for me to be taking it. But who knows? You're probably not going to get more than 2 ticks on it in a trade today, though, huh?
Uzi Knesset says, damn, Trump is tweet storming like a mofo.
Oh, I'm sure. He's tweeting about how he leads in general election against everybody now. From a USA Today poll. The closest one to him is still Joe Biden, 41-44. Oh. And then Bernie, and then Elizabeth Warren. Pete Buttigieg at 33%. I don't know, guys. I'm telling you, I still think that Pete is gonna be the nominee.
Gary Rich says, speaking of movies, I have to go see the movie Cats. I'm seriously thinking of getting drunk before.
that would be one where, you know, if you, not that I'm encouraging the use of illegal substances, but that would seem to be like the kind of movie where you would want to go high. Don't you think? I wonder if they've changed since everybody reacted to the original trailer. I wonder if they've made any changes to the graphics. Oh, look at that. They come back down at 14. Like when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, well, here it is at the point of control. I would prefer shorts. Can I really short it here? Well, I'd rather see it a little bit higher. But if you took it, you'd make a tick. I don't know. This is just not the best looking market, is it? You know what else? I'm not even sure I want to take one in the E-mini, to be honest. So where is my... let me hold on a second. These ones I think should be purple. So like if we come over to the chart, okay. Well, on a monthly basis, we did break the bottom of the month, but we're back in the range. But look on an hourly basis, inside bars. Like we're inside this thing. That's not necessarily a good trade location. Okay. E-mini. What do we get in the E-mini? Okay. Green. Okay, maybe we can't take the E-mini. But weren't we taking trades yesterday at like 31.89? I don't know. Good grief.
Uzi Knesset says, furries, the movie lol. Harlequin says, I guess it is time to trade exotic markets like live cattle.
It's kind of funny to think of live cattle as an exotic instrument, but from a trading perspective, that is what it is, an exotic instrument. Well, so maybe we could take a trade in the E-mini. Maybe we could take it long at like 96. We'll wait until the top of the hour. And Bitcoin recovered a little bit there from there. That super ugly downside. We'll keep an eye on this. Right now, equities are pointed down. It looks dead. What's this in Discord? I try to look through most of my other standard indicators to see what's triggering whatever script or algo I'm using and go from there. I don't use them to trade on kind of more of a starting point, at least an idea of where to look. I've only been trading futures for about 4 months. This guy, there's a guy in Discord named Rand. No, not Rand. Ronald. Ronald that I'm a little skeptical about. He seems really new, though. Maybe it's just he's really new. He says some things that I'm kind of like, okay.
Gary Rich says trade real exotic. Milk, butter, rice, oats. No joke, I've done the options on the futures of those.
Yeah? And did you do okay with them? Yeah.
Harlequin says, is it Ronald McDonald?
And his name is Ronald Dash. He's talking about a charting platform that is generally known around the community as a scam. He's charging way too much for it.
Gary Rich says yes, real good.
Real good. Okay. Well, then you don't trade them anymore, though, do you? Or maybe he does.
Air Cages says Seth changed my life.
Well, I thank you. I'm glad that it helped you. They gonna tick back up?
Gary Rich says now they are not worth it. Its annualized returns are terrible.
Really? Oh, that sucks. But that's kind of what happens, right? As everybody jumps into the trade. And I don't know. Oh, so some more activity on Twitter, too. Man. So back up at 14.5.
Easy Knesset says I still don't understand how the options on futures work. I've traded some options in NT8, but like the price increments are so small you have to buy like 10,000 of them to make anything, lol.
Right. But I've wondered, like, is that why, because of the options, is that how some individual traders are able to swing so many contracts? Is because they're hedged? And in reality, their accounts aren't actually that big. Like maybe you have a $10,000 account, but you could be trading this massive amount of contracts or something. Like, how does that work?
Harlequin says at Air Cages he did the same to me. I was rich and successful and then he told me to invest in Garlicoin. Since then I'm broke as fuck.
I changed his life. That's what he meant by I changed his life. I sure hope that nobody, man, I can't believe when Garlicoin was like $2, some people did put a ton of money into it. I can't believe, because you're down to like 0.01% or something. Like it's not even worth a fraction of a penny now. But hey, you can totally double your money in a day in Garlicoin when it moves.
Uzi Knesset says if I buy a single call option in NT8 on my live account, which I can do, what the hell is the advantage? Gary Rich says at Uzi I'm a pure option seller. TOS has a real good option platform, lots of good analysis.
You know what? I think we can look at this. Uzi. So I can't see it in here, but I could probably open up. Do I have it installed? I don't have it installed. I don't have it installed. I was gonna say we could look at the Thinkorswim and we could figure out what the parameters of it, the options are. Generally speaking, though, I mean, here's the thing that I think is so funny. Like all of these people that are YOLOing with options on Robinhood, they're not really taking advantage of the real benefits of options. They're just using them as a leverage instrument, which is really silly.
Uzi Knesset says, I mean, I understand how options work and all, but like the sim in NT8 really leaves much to be desired.
Right. Well, I mean, without the ability to add in a trade and like graph it and see what your profit loss is at different increments and stuff, it's really hard to get an idea of what the advantages of it are, right? Because generally speaking, the reason why I really like calls is I can sit down and I could say something like, I think that between now and the quad witching day that the trade deal is going to fall apart. And if the trade deal falls apart, it's going to move a lot further than the market currently thinks it's going to. And so now you have a way of making like a directional bet. I think it's going to go up. If I'm wrong, then I'm only going to lose, whatever the cost of the call is, which is maybe like a few $100. And if I'm right, I make like $10,000. I mean, those are some great skews that you can get on them. But you kind of have to be able to look at the chart and say, okay, how far are they pricing in movement? Where do I think that it's going to go based on the current influences in the market? And what would I stand to gain if I'm right? And then calculate out the risk reward and probability of it happening and everything. So it's a really different game though, because you're really going in there and hard pricing things, But you're right. In Ninja Trader 8, they kind of have it set up more for you to like scalp options, which I'm kind of like, okay. Okay, people do it. I'm not so sure that market is really in a spot where I would feel comfortable doing it though. That shorted at 14 half 15. I guess you could have gone short 15. You could get 2 out of it, I guess. I mean, right there, they're just giving you a clear signal to be like, okay, now we're back into range. So you made your 2 ticks and get out. But would you really be happy with 2 ticks? I know I probably would be looking for 3 or something like that. No ace today. I'm looking at it and I'm like, maybe 97? But it's so quiet.
Knesset says, for example, February 21st 20 ITM calls at 156 in ZP are priced at 3.42186. If I sim that, I only get his for the $3.42, then the price changes are so small it's pointless lol.
One contract is $3 and then you only get one of them? That doesn't make, because aren't they normally done in like lots of 100 or something like that? That's weird.
Gary Rich says IBHSS a good options platform, especially for futures. I check the cone for probability of touching my strike in X days. I'm deep OTM N days out. Premium harvesting.
You're deep out of the money. N days out. Premium harvesting. And then so how often do you lose money from the premium expiring? Or are you saying you're selling out the options and collecting the premium?
Says that's what I am curious about. I've only tested it in sim. When I bought the call, it only hits the account for $3.42.
That is weird. Maybe their sim is just not treating it correctly. That would make sense. Well, I should pull it. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. We're going to do it. I thought that I had it installed, but apparently I don't.
Uzi Knesset says in fairness, the feature is in beta but I feel like I'm missing something here.
Yeah, no, let's look at it and okay.
Uzi Knesset says they can't possibly think trading options for 0.000001 per tick is something anyone would care to do lol.
There's gotta be I know there's a place where you can.
Gary Rich says selling and collecting premium, I take 3x for losses before punching out. I'm out 20 to 30% and 90 days out in time.
Oh, okay. 30%? 30% of the whole thing, really? Oh, you take 3x for losses, though. And when you've been doing that, do you have like your historical win rate on that?
Uzi Knesset says if you have the newest NT8, the option chain is under the new drop-down menu.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but remember we tried that? Where is it? I'll show you. Excuse me. New
Gary Rich says yes 30% OTM.
Option chain. ZN. Because CQG is giving it to you, but Rhythmic is not. See that? So, yeah.
Air Cages says, Seth, what is your favorite fast food place? You seem like a KFC kind of guy.
No. I don't know anymore. I tend not to go for fast food. Maybe when I go fast food, I'll maybe go to Arby's. Yeah. So let's pull it up. I'm downloading it right now. We'll pull it up in Thinkorswim and we'll add a contract on ZN and see what it gives us.
Uzi Knesset says right, the new update just released it for Kinetic, that's why I got it.
Oh, okay. You get it from Kinetic. Here at the bottom of the hour, I'll show you my new toy. So there's some cool stuff in it. I mean, it's not like anything that you've probably never seen before, but it's pretty slick. There we go.
Gary Rich says I examined selling options on the bonds, but the margin to premium was terrible.
Oh, sure.
Ace Trades says morning.
There you are, Ace. How's it going? I was thinking, I was like, we could buy it, but it seems awfully quiet. I don't know if I really want to take a trade right now. It's like, I thought Wednesday would be better than this, but the market is just being... Yeah. Oops, sorry about that. Kind of hate installing stuff on my machine. You kind of get to the point where there's like so much junk. Okay, so there was an interesting little spike there. What was that, 40? 14?
Air Cages says would anyone want to chip in for Arby's sandwich fund for Seth? We could have it delivered daily to his house.
I don't need a daily Arby's sandwich. I try to eat healthy, guys. There's this place. It's not fast. Well,
Gary
maybe
Rich
it is fast
says I
food.
get better leverage with ETFs like TLT, etc., which are proxies for the bonds.
So there's this place here in Utah called I don't even Core Life or something like that, and they have like rice bowls and that sort of a thing. They have like rice bowls, and they have this Korean barbecue thing, and I love that. Like the kimchi and all that sort of stuff. Totally all into that. There's this place here in Utah, man. It's like well, I guess there's nothing that special about it, but it was the only Korean barbecue place I've ever seen before. And I love that. Korean barbecue is good stuff. We were talking because it was our anniversary and we were going out to eat. And I'm like, oh, we're like, hey, maybe we finally have an excuse to go to the Korean
Gary
barbecue.
Rich says, hey, where can I get that KFC burning log for the fireplace? I hear great things about it.
Oh, now you have to go to like Japan to get that? I know what you're talking about. I think that's a Japanese thing. Anyways, Korean barbecue is great, but it's more fun with a big group. And she was like, no, we got to get a big group together. So you guys
says
come to
Taco
Utah.
Bell has wrapping paper for Xmas gifts ROFL. Air Cages says we bring the kimchi to Seth now, people. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
But we didn't have the Korean accent. And Thinkorswim is still installing stuff. So this is funny the way that their launcher works. Let's see if I can get it to show. Yep. Look at how many updates it's installed. So they get like the most basic version of it, and then they have to install every update to it, which is like hundreds of updates over the years. I remember using Thinkorswim before TD Ameritrade got bought, like literally 2008. Literally 2008. That was how I watched the 2008 crisis. Was through Thinkorswim. And it's still the same platform. Isn't that crazy? It always drives me crazy when I get on the, oh yeah, you know what, I forgot. We were doing something over here. On Reddit. Oh, there was that one. We'll go and find the link for that. Let's see. Did this guy post something else? No.
Air Cages says, I think we're all officially invited for Korea barbecue, guys.
Yeah.
Seth's treat.
You come up. No. We're going Dutch. You pay for yourself. It's like $20 a person. $25 after tax. You pay for yourself. It's all you can eat. It's great. But when we get together, that's what we should do. Oh, he didn't say. So this was something that somebody did that drove me nuts. I was like, he posted this picture. He's like, look, there's a chart with an arrow. And I'm like, okay, that's completely useless. But he said, oh, actually, I meant to post a thing. He said that he actually meant to post a comment about it, but it didn't work. I guess he didn't realize that it doesn't post a comment when you're posting an image. But then I don't know what his reasoning was
says,
for
I'm not
posting
sure
it.
if they let that merger go through with Schwab and TD.
And but going back to the technical analysis discussion that we were having, like, to me, I want to know, what is something that you're seeing that's unique? What is something that's happening today that doesn't happen every day? And what does that tell us about this market? And like, does it tell us, that certain strategies are more or less likely to work because of that? That's what I'm interested in. And indicators can be interesting in that respect. Anyways, that was a little point that I wanted to make earlier that I had been distracted from. Let me go find this. Here it is. It's very easy to find. I don't know why this other guy couldn't find it. Okay. Cool. Oh, they changed it. I used to be able to do anything that I wanted. No, I think I still can. Okay. -ZN. 10-year treasury notes.
Ace Trade says, well, there is a point. Cover the rest of the trade.
We should do the March ones. Cool. Oh, I didn't catch that you took one. Which one did you want? You went long 97.75. Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. It's too tight for me. I want to get at least two because I only have one contract. Otherwise, this doesn't make much sense. But good job. Otherwise, it would.
Gary Rich says, "Wow, the DAX is taking it on the chin a bit. Germany IFO deck numbers not so happy."
Oh, so there's options that are weekly options. I need to see it off of layout. Volume open interest. Okay. So there's about 23,000 contracts going there. Are they trading it in the March ones? Interestingly enough, no. That one is a little bit more. I'm just wondering,
you have to get
where
one in order
they...
to get two.
Yeah, but I don't even know if it's going to move that far. Look at the treasuries. Look over here at this chart. Look at this right here, down here in the...
Harlequin since we've opened, want a short gold soon, so a climbing a mini would be nice.
Since we've opened, we've been in a 4-tick range in the 10-year. Now they're actually have given you some good 2-tick trades in there, but like, do you really want to mess with that? I don't. Not for me. Not for me. I don't think. Okay, so it doesn't look like they're really trading these ones. Those February ones, they're maybe trading a little bit. Okay. So, is that it? That's it? Okay, so I guess we should do these January ones. Okay. So, if we...
Ace Trade says, if only there was correlation between a mini and treasuries, if only.
128.5 is where we're at. I want like 128. Why is the strike prices? We need to show a lot more strike prices. Why does it go down as they move up? That's weird. Okay, but that one right there. Oh, these are puts. I want calls.
Gary Rich says, don't get into the buy one, sell two option stuff. It's a transaction killer. Lol.
So let's say 127. And then can I... Oh, you know what? Maybe I needed to do it over here. Add simulated trades. That's right. Okay. ZN, spread single. So now I have to go back through this and find it again.
Uzi Knesset says, show me that screen, bruh.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's probably like super hard to even see anything over here, huh? It looks like that they're trading the weeklies for January a lot more. For whatever reason. Okay, so I wanted 127. Deep out of the money.
Gary Rich says, Seth, pull up all strikes.
Pull up all strikes? Woo, wow, there we get way out there. They get way out there. Where are people trading them at, though? I don't know if you really want to buy one that's like deep.
Uzi Knesset says, see, that's another thing too. NT8 only offers one date on contracts.
So we would want to buy puts, right? If we were just going to do an outright thing. Okay, but these ones are all the same price going all the way out to here.
Ace Trade says there is your two.
Good job, Ace. I regret not taking it. Because look, it's going. It's at 3,200 now again. Okay, so if I added that simulated buy. Okay. Oh, man. That's not terribly... I mean, you don't really have to move. How far would... Where would we be on a volume profile? Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, but we could make it to 126, for instance. So if we made it to 126, then it's saying... Oh, come on. There's a way for it to tell me, right? To give me like actual the amount made, but it's not telling me that. Metric profit loss open.
Gary Rich says Seth add the bid ask last trade delta Vegas gamma volume.
Where do you do that? At 10 years. Oh, the E-mini came back. I know there's a place. I know what you're talking about. Like, is it down in here? Model, interest, date, single, delta BP effect. See, here's like the number. Like normally it would give you just a number, like an amount that you make, right?
Gary Rich says where the strikes were.
Where this strikes, you mean back here? You want the that one right there. You just wanted to see which one was more important or had better numbers. I'm just looking to see, okay, if we bought puts for 127
Gary
and it
Rich
went to
says
126
yes.
and it went to 126, how much money would we theoretically make? Okay. Well, we would theoretically make 9714 and 1930 seconds. You know? And so do you have to then price that out in do you then have to price that out in futures, you know? The futures stick price?
Gary Rich says far right is a wheel, click on that, add those other things.
On the far right is a wheel. That was definitely not what we wanted. That wheel right there. Oh. I want it on this window. Where's the
Air Cages says it's not about the money, Seth, it's about the journey and the friends you make along the way.
Fuck that. I want the money. I want my money. Wait, come on, there's got to be a way. Drag chart to pan, drag prices to change scale.
Ace Trade says that Air Cages said no successful trader ever, lol.
Right. Include the commission or exclude the commission. Lines. Metric. Man, how do you get it to show it to us in dollars? Oh, man. Stock price. Off. I don't know. I guess this doesn't answer the question that we had, does it? Well, whatever. Hold on a second. I'll minimize this for a bit. Yes, that was it. Okay.
Air Cages says do you think traders tend to be more motivated by greed and money than the average person? Gary Rich says that screen is showing risk and displays what that strike will do.
Yeah, but the thing that I wanted, Gary, was I wanted to know what is that in dollar amounts, or another explanation would be like, what is this the contract size? Is it
Ace
100?
Trade says tighten up your stops. Here comes the opening.
Is it 100? Is it 100 ZN contracts, or is it one ZN contract? You know, that sort of a thing. Well, now maybe let's try searching elsewhere and seeing if we can just pull up contracted definitions.
Gary Rich says using that platform one has to take time to go through all of it.
Yeah. 10-year note futures quotes. CME. Contract specs. Contract unit face value at maturity of 100,000. Points and fractions of a point on par with a basis of 100 points. Minimum price fluctuation is 15.625. So it sounds to me like it is equal to a tick. And if I bring this back up here, so at 127, we make nothing, right? Oh man, it doesn't. 10 spot 010. That can't be that can't possibly be right.
Gary Rich says you have to calculate the price premium paid or received due to the futures contract for that particular instrument.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, like when it says 25545 17 half. Okay, it is doing it in 30 seconds. It's $1,000 per point. Is that saying that you would make $10,000 off of one contract? That can't possibly be right. And now then you get the cool sound from Thinkorswim. That's cool. I missed that. Well, now here's the open. I'm going to come back a little bit, huh? I'm going to close this now because I want to look at something else. Shall we look at something else? I want to show you something cool. I'm going to close down Jigsaw to do it. Right. Or not Jigsaw. We're going to use
Gary
our
Rich says
data.
it gets complicated with fractions.
Yeah, it does. But is that correct? Was
Eric
those
Cages
numbers
says what the
correct?
fuck was that?
Were those numbers that I was saying, like if you buy one contract and it moves like a point, you're making like $10,000? Anyways, so I got this thing. Oh, why is that over there now? So let me show you this new platform that I've got. So it'll be now that they're the E-mini is opened. So this is for Optimus. They work together with a set of programmers. Woo! Okay, there's our data. Pretty. It's pretty, right? I really like the way that it looks. Let me pull it over here. So one of the things that I really like about this platform is you can like bind windows together. See this? So this whole thing moves together, but it's made of individual components, and I could like unbind them and switch them around and stuff. Isn't that cool? And then it has, let me show you a couple of things that are cool. I think I already have some. So
Eric
here's a
Cages
stat
says,
matrix.
Seth, what do you want for Christmas? Price is no object.
What do I want for Christmas? Oh man, I don't know. I have a list. Of things. Where's my list of things? I really wanted a new lens for my camera, but I think that was what it was. I think that's the next thing on my
Gary Rich says, can we see the raccoon eating grapes at the table on YouTube? So funny, lol.
What? I have not seen that. I have a little list of things here, right? Yeah, there you go. See? You can't see the list, but anyways, yeah. So the next big things I have on my list are a new lens for the camera so that we're a little bit sharper, and then I want to get like a Shure 55SH. So, but I'm holding it off. I'm like right now. I'm like, you know what? Everything's good. So I'm just like, no reason to get anything, and I'm saving things up because we're gonna, we're having a baby, and I want to make sure that we have plenty of room for when that happens. Okay, so this thing right here, stat matrix. Isn't that cool? So that I have here ZB and ZN, they're 0.94% correlated, and it's negative 0.11. So it's 11% negatively correlated with the ES. And you can like add as many instruments as you want on here. 6E, NQ, GC. Can I add GC there? Yeah. Oops. Did I not do it? There we go. Cool.
Air Cages says all I want for Christmas is a Garlicoin pump.
Oh, there you go. Garlicoin pump. Here's the thing. If Garlicoin pumped right now, like my money is all, or my garlic is all in a cold wallet right now. So I'm just waiting. It's not, I wouldn't be able to sell it at this point.
Gary Rich says on your Amazon wish list, do you have the transgender blow up doll, makeup included?
No.
Ace Trade says I want world peas.
World peas? I'm not a fan of peas. Anyways, the stat matrix is cool, right? But there's and here's their DOM. So, when I was talking to him, I was like, you need to be able to see how much it took to lift and, stack on the offer. But he was saying, well, I'm not looking to, compete with Jigsaw. He was like, most of my traders are like longer term guys. So I just want them to be able to execute. I'm wondering how does so it doesn't show that sort of stuff. That's okay. He was saying like this would be like a replacement for
says world peas and
Ninja Trader. You use Ninja, or you would use this and Jigsaw instead of Ninja Trader.
Silva says, what do you think, Gold? Ace Trade says, yeah, some folks want world peace, but I want world peas. Air Cages says, let's skip Seth, the Top Step Trader account, guys.
No, don't give me a Top Step Trader account. Man, Air Cages, you're freaking hilarious sometimes. No, okay, so wait. So I want to know if I buy it right here. I limit buy. Cool. Hey, it makes an interesting sound, doesn't it? And then can I just like move it up? Yeah. I'll tell it.
Gary Rich says, what platform is that on?
This is the Optimus platform that they've put together. It's still beta. Okay. So keep that in mind. This is still beta, and it's not out yet, but it's going to be out soon apparently. So that's good that we can easily move orders around. Now I'm wondering if I click and I do, well, I can cancel it, right? Okay. Now, if I do like this, will it give me a stop buy? It says limit buy. Okay, well, we'll just put it in anyways and see if it enters me into a position. Okay, so it looks like it didn't do a stop. It and entered me into a position.
Ace Trade says, just to make you feel bad, there is 3 points.
Right. Well, look. Oh, sell, I guess. Yeah, I'll make 2 ticks. If it'll fill. I also can't see my spot in the queue. Okay, but it got me out. That's cool. Now, does it show me?
Gary Rich says the drag and drop of orders function is ideal.
Yeah, the drag and drop is ideal, but I really like to be able to say, here's my stop. How do I put in a stop order? Lock trading view settings. Let's look at the settings. How do I enter a stop order? I don't know. I'll have to ask them and see if there's...
Uzi Knesset says, so seeing this leads me to another question. Why doesn't NT8 price their options by the premiums, I wonder?
I don't know. Well, it looks like that on Thinkorswim, they don't price it by the premiums either. Anyways, so I don't know how to set a stop. Maybe middle mouse, right mouse? No. There's just that. Okay, so that's something. Let's go and make a little note here.
Lucas says, wow, what? What is going on?
We're-
Lucas says, morning, by the way.
Good
Grinning
morning, Lucas.
face.
We're looking at it.
Gary
Somebody,
Rich says you might have to create a condition for stops or trailing stop.
yeah, maybe. We're looking at Optimus Futures sent me a beta of a new platform that they're working on, and we're taking a look at it. So, how do I set a stop order? So that's good. But the DOM itself is good, right? Like I can make it all square and everything, and I can resize it small. I wish that I could resize. Oh, I can resize these because these don't need to be super big, right?
Lucas says looks good. Ace
Yeah.
Trade says, is anyone else having connection issues? I realize I live on the edge of civilization and am lucky to even have the internet. Maybe it's the cold temperatures, but the stream keeps getting a delay.
You know what?
Lucas says, is it practical?
I've been having issues. You know what? I'm actually, as I have this pulled up, I am seeing. So we should pull. Let me pull up my performance here. It might be me, Ace. So I apologize. So we'll keep this open. Maybe all of this is because I'm just looking over here, and we've had a decent number of.
Uzi Knesset says
frames.
at ACE Trade, same here. Stream has been buffering in and out.
Has it only been since I opened this up?
Gary Rich says Verizon reported issues this am. I'm having choppiness issues as well.
I was having connection issues earlier too, but I'm seeing dropped frames. Has it only been since I've had this open?
Ace Trade says it use the Knesset that makes me feel better. Thanks.
So
Lucas says it happens the same to me, Ace. Stream goes on and off several times. I even lowered quality but won't change a thing.
my connection must be off or something. Maybe I need to go and get the better connection. Finally. So what else is there? There's another thing.
Lucas says that's been happening a lot since like
right
a week
here.
or two. Uzi Knesset says it's actually been
Oh.
happening for like 2 days, but I don't complain, lol.
Okay.
Ace Trade says same here, 2 days.
Okay.
Air
so
Cages
then I know
says
what
you
to
need
do
to
about
upgrade
that.
to premium membership if you want the non-crappy, non-laggy stream, guys.
Well, I think that it was because I decreased my encoder to 5 from 6 to 5. Maybe we need to do something like hold on.
Gary Rich says it's the world solar flares. Greta Thunberg is mad at us non-climate change haters.
Let's pull this over here and I'll show you. We'll see if we can.
Uzi Knesset says, oh wow, look at that thing go, lol.
Look at that thing go, right? So it's comparable to Bookmap. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Ace
it's
Trade
nice.
says at Gary Rich, okay boomer.
Okay, boomer. Okay, so with this thing down here, if we just set this to be Thursday. I hate it when it does that. 6:15. There's this thing right here where we can go and manage stream keys. I think that I can say cancel. Create a new stream key.
Air Cages says Epstein died of his death unfortunately. Get what deserves.
I could start streaming in 720p. I guess it only just gives you like that. Huh. Alright. Well.
Uzi Knesset says okay boomer had potential as a quality meme until it became the de facto response from progressives anytime you say something they disagree with. LMAO.
Okay, well, we'll see
Gary
when.
Rich says I bought time of the year Greta issues for Xmas presents for the family. Oh, they gonna hate me.
We'll see tomorrow if it fixes it, okay? Because I don't think that it's going to do it. Well, actually, I can do this. Hold on a
Ace
second.
Trade says at Air Cages he actually isn't dead. Him and Elvis are doing the holidays in the Poconos. Air Cages says okay boomer.
We'll do this. I'm gonna start and stop my streaming to it, but you just stay there, and you might have to refresh the page,
Uzi
but we should
Knesset
be
says
good.
grinning
Okay,
squinting face.
right? And we'll see if that fixes some of your issues. All right. So I'll just be right back. Okay. Now we're back. So hopefully we got you guys. Well, a couple of people dropped, but I think we're okay. Let's see here if I just play this back. No. No, to refresh this page. There we go.
Air Cages says let's see the intro.
You'd want me to do the intro again? Maybe in a second. This is cool. So now I can like zoom it out to like really big.
Ace Trades says kids got to leave for a bit, but don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey, thanks. So there's settings here. I want to know time scale. Interesting. You can actually trade on this thing, is what it's suggesting to me. I wonder, is there a way to make it so that it doesn't go through so fast? You know, so that I can see like a few seconds instead of... I think that would be the timescale bit right there, but that doesn't actually change the... Or maybe I can do it like here. Okay. So that's as far as I can zoom out, apparently. Oh, interesting.
Gary Rich says I wish my bowel movements were that fast, my legs keep going numb.
Let's see if we can get it to tick up here. I think that's drawing
Uzi
a volume
Knesset
profile
says
right
lol
there.
what? Ace Trade says it Gary Rich right there with ya bro.
Yeah, it is. So that's cool. As it goes along, it draws a volume profile there for us. What about these time statistics? Okay. Oh, you can do a left profile too. I don't know if the left profile works. Okay, so my next thing that we should write down is...
Ace Trade says it Gary Rich that is one thing I miss about having a real job. I have to pay for my own toilet paper. Uzi Knesset says man poor Jigsaw, really behind on the graphical interfaces here lol.
Right. Well, this looks so pretty, doesn't it? Now there is some, so here another thing is there's workspaces, like I can switch between workspaces really quickly. So that's kind of nice. But I would like to be able to show multiple workspaces at a time. I'm trying to go through, because like the thing is there's going to be like a trillion things that you could look at, right? Here, pull this back up.
Gary Rich says at Ace don't go cheap on the TP. Gotta have the 3-ply. Creature comforts are worth the money.
Right. The thing is there could be like a trillion things that you could add, but what would be the things that like would be the most value add for them, or that they could change, you know? So I'll show you here again. They have time profile. Where did it go? Did I close it? No. I'll close these. was this. Oh, I put it into the group. That's what happened. Okay. Get rid of that.
Ace Trade says it. Gary Rich agreed, but Mother Nature usually calls when I am out on a run, no matter how I try to fool her.
Okay. Oh, it's scrolling the which way changes which way you're going. Okay. And it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't auto shift. So like if I come over this way, it doesn't auto adjust. Okay.
Ace Trade says okay, I'm out of that trade. Chat in a bit.
On chart when you scroll. That's important. Their TPOs look really nice, don't they? And you can add all this stuff. Like I can add a view up. Is that adding the view up?
Gary Rich says that Ace corks are good or depends diapers work well. Astronauts, NASCAR peeps use them, lol.
That's weird. So that's probably a bug. Probably a bug with that. Their volume profiles look great though.
Uzi Knesset says, so how much blood is needed for this platform? Lol.
So I don't know, but I am told isn't to get all of the volume profile and TPO stuff in Sierra charts, it's like what, $50 a month or something, right? And they haven't decided yet, but that sounds like they are going to make it cheaper than Sierra charts. So that's pretty cool, right? Because then you have a platform, and it does sound like they're going the way of like a monthly thing. So can you imagine, like you pay $25 and you get all of the volume tools in there, and I guess you'd still, if you wanted the DOM, you'd still want Jigsaw. But that's a great, I mean, that would be a big help for a lot of people, don't you think? So I just remember just last week we were talking about how it's kind of annoying the way that Sierra Charts does it, and it would be nice to have alternative platform.
Gary Rich says you gotta pay for the display.
Well, you would have to, it's only going to be available from Optimus, so you would have to have them as your broker, is I think the thing. But that's probably not a problem. Like I know guys like Ace, for instance, you know, probably could because he's trading the size, could work out something with them and maybe even get cheaper commissions than what he's paying right now. So that's POC Ray. What does that do? Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Oh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, guys. That is way cool. I really like that. Oh, yeah, but I already have the volume analysis. Some of these buttons don't necessarily work, but it's so cool. It's so nice looking, though. That's the thing that impresses me the most. That and the whole thing where I can I can add another chart, and then I can
Gary Rich says you could just open an account, pay the monthly, but not put a trade on. Use it for information.
Sure, maybe you could create bind, and then I can go and select this window, and then panel intersections are not allowed. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to put them the way that I would want them to be, huh? So also they're like real windows, so my snap and resize stuff works correctly. Okay, so now I can say create bind with this. Now they're all one window. Yeah, that is a slick feature. And if they just make their workspaces so that, when I do that, I can turn it on and off individual workspaces instead of it just completely switching, that would be nice. Then it would be perfect in the workspace management space at least. It would be almost perfect. So I like that about it. And let's see, we can add some indicators. Is there indicators that you guys would like to see? We just add stuff. Dungeon channels. Moving averages. And just do an EMA.
Gary Rich says Seth needs 4 50-inch screens to put all of his stuff on.
Right. Remove all. Okay, so I can't like remove an individual indicator. That's something that they should work on. CCI. Okay, adds it down the bottom. See, like once I've changed an indicator, how do I... Okay, now I can change it. Okay, cool. So maybe they should fix that, but like make it easier to find. But I'm so glad that I didn't take it long in there. Look at that. Well, that's kind of an interesting fall that they had, isn't it? What else? What else is an interesting indicator that they might have? Trend, volatility, volume. Well, let's just add volume like that. Okay. Do they have anything that, what would be something that tends to be weird? And oh, like, where's MACD? Did I already try that one? Bollinger Bands. Okay. Bollinger Bands. Okay. Then maybe would want to make it the ability to shade in the areas between there. I know a lot of people like that, but that was not like a huge deal. He was saying, you know, like obviously we don't have all of the same indicators that other people do because it's brand new, but what else? I think that might be.
Gary Rich says, do they have volume bars?
Ah, good question. Okay, so we can do time, range. Oh, yep, we can do volume bars. Get rid of all the indicators that we added onto it, huh? And just remove all. Remove all. Yep. That looks pretty good. Let's see here. So we can do volume. What's P and F? Oh, okay. The little X's and O's. Pointing figure. Kagi.
Claudio Ibarola says, what is that platform?
It is Optimus. What do we call it? Optimus Flow. It's called Optimus Flow. But it's not out yet. This is alpha. Okay. This is like beta. So we might find things that don't completely work or features that, you know, they need to add. That's kind of what we're trying to do, is trying to identify things for them that like we think would be really important to have so that they can add them before they launch, you know. Okay, so they do range bars. I like my range bars. Cool. And Renkos. You know, probably for a Renko, I probably need smaller bricks for. There you go. Cool. Now, can I change things like, let's go back to a 1 minute let's do a 5-minute chart. Okay. So if I go into style area, that's cool. Ooh, the area one looks super nice. That is pretty.
Gary Rich says Seth see if they have Heiken Ashi candles, it calculates better.
Yeah, they do. Da, 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 da. But I want to see, okay, there's overlay. Oh, what is an add an overlay? Oh, that's like add another. Front month. Oh man, it just like adds everything automatically. Front month. Cool. Get rid of the overlay now. Oh, you can draw. You got all sorts of. I think they've got. There's more over here. No, that's not it. Drawings library. There we go. You can add all the kind of standard things that you'd want. Fibonacci retracements. Settings. Fibonacci levels. You can change the levels. Good. Delete
Gary
that.
Rich says the Ha keeps one longer in the short-term trend.
Okay. Okay, anyways, so we're going back to view. Volume. Oh, cool. What's quick OE? Oh, that might be over here. No? Oh, that's something, but oh, here it is. It showed it down there. Settings? Ah, okay. Session. Grid. Oh, okay. Here's what I wanted. Okay, so I want like a blue. Cool, and it changes immediately. And orange. And then the border color should be like a dark blue maybe. Or I could do a lighter blue maybe. Cool. And I can change the wick individually too. Maybe I just want the wick to be white. Oh, see, that's perfect. There are some platforms, like even with NinjaTrader, I can't change the wick separately from the border. It's so annoying. It's so annoying, guys. Really great. Oh, and you can color a doji separately too. So I could color a doji to be like yellow, for instance. Well, I don't actually have a doji. Maybe we would have to do like the tenure or something like that. E-mini falling down a little bit now. Okay, so that's cool. Their coloring is really great. Anything that has to do with the way that it looks is done really, really well on this platform. Oh, we can do day separators.
Claudio Ibarola says, do you know what happened to Market Delta?
I don't know. I think they're still around, aren't they? They're the ones they had the footprint charts, right? Scale behavior, auto scale. Absolutely. So that means if I come down here, yeah, it
Gary
auto
Rich
scales
says
down.
what happened to Market Delta?
So how come that doesn't auto scale on this one? Settings. Time zone, mouse wheel action is a zoom. Well, maybe there's a reason that they have it like that, but I would like to be able to auto scale it as I'm going up and down, you know? Okay. Well, they have it over here, so they probably should be able to get it up there. Come back over to here. The E-mini is selling pretty good. I mean, if we had taken a short from up here, it would have been good. Settings, right? Okay. Oh, visual trading. Trade through order entry. Okay, so we should. Sell. And yes. Cool. Shows me. Nice. And can I just like. There must be a way, but I don't know what it is. Okay. Well, we'll figure that out in a second. Info window. Oh, that's the thing up at the top. So you can change what shows up at the top. That's cool. Volume bars. Oh, that's the part at the bottom, right? Yep.
Claudio Ibarola says I do not find the website.
Well,
Gary Rich says look at those trends on that hot chart. Keeps you in longer versus a normal candlestick chart.
yeah. So it's Optimus Futures, but the platform's not available yet. So you won't find anything about it on their website. But here, if we just pull up their website right here, optimusfutures.com, and you can see what
JB
they
says
got.
pretty colors.
It's definitely pretty, right, JB? Did you see, or you can see them, right? The TPOs, the TPO chart is super nice, right? And they've got this thing like Bookmap does. Of course, I saw it like right in the worst spot. This part right here, I need it to be able to zoom out further. Like that's as far as it goes. You can zoom in more, but like even for the E-mini, that's like too close. It seems not useful. There's a heat map thing. That's cool. Ugh, that's too hard for me to read. You can change this trades marker size, the opacity of those. There needs to be a way to zoom out more. It's too close. But I digress. I have that written down. But I don't know, the TPO chart is the thing that I find the most impressive. Right?
JB says can you scale the right hand margin?
Yeah. Like this one, you can get it to go auto. It seems though, like on this one, like it scales differently from this one. And I don't know what you do about that. Settings. Do I have to go back and reset it to be? How did I?
JB says no on the order flow chart.
Oh, on the order flow chart. You can do that. Is that what you mean? Oh, this right here. So the right hand margin, yeah, so the reason that the right hand margin isn't showing up very well is because of this. So I have volume showing. 30 minutes.
JB says expand it.
Can you make it bigger? Width of histogram, is that what it is? Yeah. You can. Make it a little bigger, zoom in a little bit so that you can see the right profile. Data type, and you can even change what it is.
JB says height not width.
Like that. Oh, that's interesting.
JB says yes.
Yeah. So there's kind of like a couple of little quirks, but I'm not quite sure which ones are misunderstandings on my part or things that they should change.
JB says trying to see the level 2.
Yeah, so this right here, you can, these things, you mean. That's the level 2, right? Let's make it wider. Is that, where's my ES? Yeah, it is. I just wish that I could zoom out more on the time.
JB says tough with no voice chat here.
Yeah, I feel you, JB. Oh man. What else? I don't have anything in here. I haven't seen anything that has to do with cumulative delta. You can add a custom profile. You have VWAPs. Okay. So cumulative delta is something that they should really add, I think.
JB says I was trying to get you to expand the order flow cloud so we could see the level 2 on the right side of the order flow chart.
Expand the order flow cloud. You mean like that? It's interesting, this cumulative level 2 thing. I don't see why that would be useful, but I know that some crypto people use that.
Gary Rich says it says market delta has been in a litigation case and filed for Chapter 7.
Really? Well, that's interesting.
JB says not the 3 order flow indies on the far right.
So what do you mean by that level 2 then?
JB says that was contracted.
Oh, you mean you want it all the way over to here? Well, that's interesting. You know what? Jigsaw does that too, though. I don't know why. See how there's always a little space on the side? You can make it all the way over, though. It's just that by
JB
default,
says I wanted you to expand the chart.
The chart.
JB says Christ.
Oh, man.
JB says no height, up down.
This? Or you want the chart to be bigger like this? So that you can see more of it. Yes, okay. There you go.
JB says no.
Yes, no. So when...
JB says just the right column.
Oh. So you're talking about... When you're talking about the right column, are you talking about these? Or are you talking about the profile? So this is the thing, and what do we call this thing? The order book. Do you mean the order book, or do you mean the volume profile?
JB says no.
Uh, which thing is the right column?
JB says there, see the green level too.
Okay. So you're talking about, where's my thing? There it is. Do you mean this? That's the only thing on, well, that's the level 2, and of course the colors are level 2. But we're calling this the order book. So are you talking about the order book? You want to be able to...
JB says no. JB says just to the left.
Okay, so this. Or this is the profile. And this is, what do we call this? The surface. The surface.
JB says the light green shaded level 2.
Okay, so I think he's talking about the surface.
JB says yes.
Okay, so you want that bigger, so you can see each individual, or you want to be zoomed out further? Ooh, interesting. You zoom out that far, you can start to see where they, little spots. Wonder why you don't see them zoomed in there.
JB says yes bigger. JB says no not zoomed out.
Yeah, you want to see them bigger. Ooh, look at that. Well, that's a little bit more useful when you really get in, when you get it really deep. Let me turn off that profile part. That's kind of annoying.
Gary Rich says can you separately detach those three things display them individually? JB says that's what I was trying to see.
I gotcha. I'm just dense. So I don't think that you can detach this, but there are other places that you can see them. Like, there was the Dom trader, right? We'll show you that. And you can...
JB says an hour ago when we started this ridiculous chat.
You know, you can do that and detach it and move it somewhere else. I think that's how I would do that particular part. I have to watch it like this for a while because I wonder if there's anything to be gained from seeing it like that or not. And then I'm also wondering, then when you do the heat map thing, does that? Maybe not. See, like, we had to move up and now
JB
it's
says
out
can
of
the
view
axis on
so
that first
quickly.
level 2 to the right of the main chart be flipped to right, left from left, right like it is now?
Oh, You mean like you want them to be coming off this way? Volume analysis. Oh, there is a left. Look, you do get the left profile. See it kind of vaguely behind there. I don't think that there really are. Oh, I can hide these. Like, I don't really care about this cumulative size. I think that's kind of useless. Show bid ask line. Okay, so what we should say is better options for how level 2 order book things are displayed both on DOM surface and the DOM trader. Because it does not look like you can flip it the other way. And I can totally see why you would want to do that.
JB says, if I call you on Discord, can you hear me in your headphones?
Yeah, I mean, I could mute you if you want, or everybody could hear you if you really want to, because we still got like, 20 minutes.
Gary Rich says one displays horizontal and the other vertical.
One displays horizontal and the other vertical.
JB says you just answered my question.
Oh. I mean, I can like mute my computer's stuff so that I can do it both ways. Like, they'll either be able to hear you or not. But it would be kind of weird to be talking to myself. You can't flip that order analysis. You can't flip
that order analysis.
Yeah, you want them to be this way. I totally get what you're saying. It doesn't look like you can, does it? But I would think, based on some of the other things that they have in here, that wouldn't be a huge ask. Wondering on their DOM trader, this thing right here. Okay. If I go into settings, you can do this. That's cool. But see, you can't change that over here either. Oh, grid, none, vertical. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Looks like the E-mini is recovering a little bit. The day map thing is cool too. It tells you in relation
JB
to the
says
larger
whose
day
platform
where
is this?
So this is Optimus Futures beta platform. So what we're doing is we're going through and we're finding things that we think are like would be critical for them to add. So obviously they're not going to have, since it's a brand new, they're not going to have as many indicators. But I'm kind of looking at it from the perspective of like, what are some things that would be like really big, oh, I can't use this platform because it's not in there, sort of a thing. So I don't know, the way that you, whether or not this profile is left or right, probably something we can live with, right?
Says, hey Seth, I'm back. Did you miss me?
I did, Air Cages. I was wondering where you went. We're like, where's Air Cages? No, we didn't. We didn't notice. But I'm glad you're back. Anyways, but the fact that I don't really have a whole lot of control over how those are displayed is something that they should probably look at, right? The fact that I cannot zoom out very far on this thing, that's a reason that I would rather use this, right? Because I can see that very clearly. What are the other ones? There's I don't see cumulative delta anywhere. That bothers me. There's this time histogram thing. But that I can just show volume there. Delta percentage. Oh wait, there is a cumulative delta. There is a cumulative delta, but it's not a... It's not like a line. So they should fix that. And like I was saying with these ones, with your regular charts, like I can add an indicator, like a Donchian channel, for instance. Okay. But then to modify it, I got to click up here and do the settings on it. There's not like a window that will show me like indicators. Where's the indicators that I already have on,
JB says, did they ask you to demo this for them?
Yeah, so I've been talking to Matt, and he made this, and he said, just take a look at it for me, and it's okay for you to show it on stream. And when they release it, maybe we'll do a review of it or anything. He didn't pay me or anything, but he did give me the platform. I kind of like it. So here's the thing that I like about it is right now for NinjaTrader, it's kind of turned into, if you're going to use NinjaTrader, you probably want to be using NinjaTrader brokerage, and you want to buy the platform, which is, it's expensive, right? It's like $900. Okay. So for most beginners, that doesn't really make sense, to get all those, and you can use it for the free version, but you don't get any of the order flow indicators, right? Sierra charts, you can do it, but there's a couple of things like Sierra charts doesn't look very good for start. I know that shouldn't matter, but it totally matters to a lot of people. And there's things about the way that you program with that I don't like. But then, get the order flow stuff, it's still like $50 a month, right? But if this platform ends up coming out and they charge you like $25 a month and you get TPO charts and all this other stuff, that is a really nice effing deal, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So it might be a really nice platform simply because of that. And it doesn't have to be doesn't have to have all of the everythings, Oh, I can change that right there. Oh, no, there we go. It's like I knew there was a way to make it so that
JB says, sure it does. They give you a break on commissions at Ninja Brokerage after you buy the lifetime license.
Yeah. See, Ninja is a pretty good deal right now, but it's just for like new people. They don't want to put that much money into it, Which I understand the business model, right? Like, honestly, that seems to be the most sensible thing. Is most traders will bomb out, so you want to get your money from them up front. Totally reasonable. But, for most small traders, it probably makes more sense to them to just pay it on a monthly basis. Because then they say, well, maybe I only trade for a month and then I give up. Then I only last, if it's $25 a month, then I only last $50 instead of $900 if I never use it again. So, and I think the stuff that they've got in here already is pretty.
JB says the 3-month rental on the lifetime license gives them a commission break too.
Okay. That's interesting. And the commission break could maybe matter too. That's the thing with Optimus is that the commissions that they give you by default are not as good as what you get at AMP. No question. And especially since they use AMP as their FCM, it's kind of difficult, if not impossible, to get, as good of a commission as you would get at AMP. But what you get in return is you have a much better support staff. So I don't know. Kind of depends on what matters to you, I guess, at that point. If you're like comfortable and, doing all of this stuff yourself, then maybe you want to go for the best commissions that you can. But I've also spoken to a lot of people that, like they had a problem and they talked to AMP and they weren't able to fix it quickly enough or whatever the deal is. And whereas if you're with Optimus, like they move heaven and earth to make you happy. So there's that side of it. But I'm still thinking of it like, you know what, if you're a new person, maybe that's what you need, right? So I'm starting to warm up to the idea of if you're just starting, Optimus might be a good option. Of course, there's always going to be pluses and minuses to everybody, right? Like one thing is the stage 5 guys and them doing your risk management for you is a huge selling point for me, I wish that other people did that, but it's kind of a hard thing to do.
JB says, plus, they'll apply the remaining time of your rental $$ towards the lifetime license if you decide to buy one after you take the 3-month rental.
Okay. That's not bad. Anyways. No. And the other thing when I was talking, when he gave me the platform and he asked me to look at it, he said,
Gary Rich says just go big and large. Get a CME, CBOE, ICE, NYSE account and platform. JB says I did that in month 4 when I first started.
Sure. He did say that he was like, there are certain things like he said, I don't want to compete with Jigsaw because they're really good at what they do. And but he was kind of taking it more from the perspective of, I want a platform that's my platform because I'm tired of selling other people's platforms and then having to deal with all of the problems of other people's platforms that people complain to me about. And if it's my platform, then I can do something about it. And he said that most of his traders that do well are trading on larger time frames. And that's why they put a lot of work into things like the TPO chart is really nice, right? And it's because that's what his big clients use, apparently. And this DOM surface thing is pretty cool too, but and you need to be able to zoom out on it. It needs to be more usable at a larger time frame. What else did I get? Yeah, the TPO doesn't scale. On TPO. And then the big one is that I couldn't figure out how to do I don't know how to set a stop. Like, see, that will want to do a limit order. I could do this. Well, even with that, I don't know how to set a stop order. So maybe there's a way to do it, but I think when I click in here, that should just
Gary
automatically
Rich says today
stop.
you probably gonna need at least 3 platforms to do it all.
I think you can do, well, that would be a profit, right? Why would you need 3? I don't know. I do wish that I could just use Jigsaw for everything, but I don't know if Jigsaw's ever going to give you regular charts or not. But, their thing is the DOM. Like, really? You'd be surprised how complicated just the DOM can be. So I'm going to type some stuff here. On here, is there a way for me to show cumulative delta?
IQ says, hey, you guys made money selling ZB today and tomorrow.
Yeah. ADX volume. Yeah, like there's delta rotations. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Need like cumulative delta on this chart. So we'll add that.
Gary Rich says if Jigsaw goes equities for the order flow, I'm buying a generation license.
You can get the full level 2 for stocks, can't you? I don't know if I would want to trade a stock like that though. Could be interesting.
Gary Rich says level 2 sucks.
Level 2.6. Well, let's minimize this for a little bit while I'm watching this so that we can see where we're at. They never really moved down, did they? Oh wait, they moved down on the open and then they kind of ranged here. Well, I'll just close this because I want to open
Air
up
Cages says level 3 rules.
You know that is a thing, right? In equities, that is a thing.
Air Cages says I get all my levels in 3D.
There you go.
Gary Rich says I'm beyond level 2 for equities. I've been talking to CQG for order flow on equities, always thinking outside the box.
Oh yeah, it looks like ZN did drop a little bit there while we were not paying attention. The E-mini sure took a dive there on the open though, didn't they? I would have wanted to buy like when Ace was in it, but we would have only gotten like 2 or 3 points, and then look at the downside was way worse. Yeah, they actually really this range here when they broke 12.5. Oh, I didn't watch it. Oh, we kind of missed the grand thing. Remember when we started all of that? It was like at 7:30. It was like, man, they're just stuck in this 4-tick range forever. And then they just plummeted there. And that seems to be when the equities started coming down. Okay, let's see here.
Air Cages says any good strip clubs in Utah near Arby's?
Not. I mean, I don't know anything about the strip club. I think there's like two strip clubs in Utah, man. What was that? A little bit of a buying there now. All that into 09. 09 and a half, and then they get ticked down. Oh man. Are they gonna get caught? They're gonna get caught long going into 09 and a half. That's gonna be ugly if he squeezes them down now.
Air Cages says I wonder if opening a strip club is profitable. Thinking of new business ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Air
Mm-mm-mm.
Cages says seems like there might be some demand in Utah actually. If I open up one, I'm giving everyone in the chat VIP passes. Including Seth, of course.
Nah, well, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure that there's two. And I'm also pretty sure that they have pretty draconian laws about what you can and cannot do at a strip club. But I don't think that they're very popular. I remember that back in the rave days, there was one girl that she worked at one of those strip clubs, and she would like send promotion to, like, we thought, oh, we're just doing rave stuff, and then she would send you stuff for the strip club, and you're like, oh, okay, I don't want that on my feed. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Ace Trade says I can't even ask the girl at Golden Corral for extra toast. I can't imagine going to a strip club. DB all putting my coat on her and offering to call her dad to get her a ride home. Gary Rich says I sure miss my days in the strip clubs. Man, those were good times.
Is that a thing where you would just regularly go to the strip club? Ace, I can't even ask the girl at Golden Corral for extra toast? What? You know what is a weird thing, though? Is like...
Air Cages says imagine live streaming trading from inside of a strip club.
We will be famous. I think that YouTube and Twitch would ban us if we did that. Man, you know, the thing that I always found weird.
Gary Rich says Vegas was the place.
Like, when I was single, it was always like, you had to be super careful about what you said to people, because, you know, people would think, you guys, there's a lot of I understand it. Like, listen, there's a lot of creepy guys out there. And you don't want to be, like, they just don't understand that you can't just go up and, like, straight up ask somebody out, you know, like, you have to talk to them for a second and build rapport and whatnot, right? And these guys, because they've never been in social situations, they don't understand that, you know? So it's always like, you gotta be careful, right? But
Ace
I've
Trade
found...
says short signal 3197.75.
Oh, really? No, I can't take that one. Ooh, I really want to. I really wish that we had taken a short. Did you get any kind of a short when we were up there at the top Ace? Is that why you got out?
Ace Trade says it's choppy. Gary Rich says CES in Vegas was the days. It had the porn convention at the same time. Oh, days of no sunlight.
You know, when I went to CES, they didn't. It wasn't. They weren't doing that year. They were at different times. It sure was interesting to go to CES though, and like they have those models, and they have like skin makeup on and everything, and it's like you're standing next to the girl, right? You get in the picture with her. It's like, it's so unreal. It's like, you know, because they have the makeup on and everything, they look flawless. Like, you can tell there's something off. There's like, this is not this. They look like a god or something.
Ace Trade says church education system. Ace Trade says I did get that short signal, but I was in that long. I wish I had at least mentioned it.
Yeah, it was a good trade, right? Okay, well, cool. I mean, I don't think that I want to take trades today just because of the way that the bonds were. The sad thing is, on the bonds, was that we had this really crazy tight range. And then when we started looking at that other thing, they broke 12.5, and look at how far they went.
Ace Trade says CES.
They went down 8 ticks, and we could have taken that one short. I mean, I would have only have taken a short. So, oh well, would have, could have. No, that's the what is the CES? The something electronic expo, something like that. It's basically it's a trade show in Las Vegas that takes place in January, where all of the electronics companies show off their new stuff, particularly phones and televisions. It's not as big for like game stuff. But
Gary Rich says, oh, back then, no offended or #woke BS.
Yeah, well, it seemed like even back a couple of years ago, man, it was like, you gotta be careful what you say, you know, because there's just too many guys out there that have no clue, right? But the thing is, as I've noticed, at least in Utah, is like, if you have a ring on your finger, like, girls are much less apt to misinterpret what you're thinking like that. So, you know, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to be able to talk to a person and not have to worry about whether they're thinking you're coming on to them or something like that, you know? I kind of enjoy it. Talking to girls is much better when you're married.
Gary Rich
and
says
you can just
Consumer
talk to people.
Electronics Show.
That's what it is. Consumer Electronics Show. Okay, let me reread over this to make sure that my language makes sense. I don't see any way to set up a stop order on the DOM. If you click buy on a price that is already offered, it should set a stop instead of a limit. DOM surface should be able to zoom out more or let you specify time interval I'd like to be able to see changes over a period of maybe 30 minutes, and right now you can only see a few seconds. Add the ability to show multiple workspaces at a time, so each workspace is something
Air
that you can
Cages
turn
says
on and
pro
off.
tip, wear a ring when picking up bitches in Utah.
There you go.
Ace Trades says you mean it was easier to sexually harass people. Oh, the good old day, lol.
No, we obviously don't ever sexually harass people. But just when you talk, it's like, I'm telling you, when you're single and you talk to a girl, especially in Utah, their first thought is he's gonna ask me out. Like, that's their first thought. But when you have a ring, then they go, oh, well, it's just the person and you're just talking. That's much better. But I mean, it's unavoidable, especially in a place like Utah where, everybody's trying to get married. I understand. Okay. Add the ability to show multiple workspaces at a time, so each workspace is something that you can turn on and off instead of it switching over. This is the most requested feature in NinjaTrader. Okay. Add the option to make the TPO chart auto-scale the same way the regular chart does. There should be a settings dialog that shows you all the indicators on the chart and lets you select and change their settings. I know you can get an indicator from right-clicking on them at the top, but most people won't find that right away. Cumulative delta on the regular charts is a critical indicator to have. It appears to exist on the DOM surface, but it's not showing me a line like I'd expect. And then show current trades or how many orders it took to lift the bid or offer on the DOM is I don't want to say a critical component, but let's just say is most useful feature of a DOM. The most useful feature to me, at least.
Gary Rich says those Vegas strippers were genius at getting guys to empty the ATM machines. Ace Trades says nothing says he is a good catch like the seal of someone else's pre-approval.
I mean, you're right, Ace. It's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. Like, I can't, like, it's so weird. Hold on a second. Okay, I'll send that. And then we'll talk about this, and then I gotta go. Oh, no, wait. Let's post the Patreon notes, too, because I don't have much time. It's like, it's the opposite for guys and girls, you know? like I think when you're a guy and you talk to a girl and she's like, she's already taken, you know? And then when she becomes single, I mean, if you really know her, but I don't know, you've already like, what is the word? Cross them off of the list in your mind or whatever as a potential date, you know? But girls, if you were in a relationship or just recently out of one, that's like they want to snatch you up. It's pretty, yeah. I don't know what the psychological like mechanisms are that cause people to behave that way. But there's no question it is easier for me to approach people. Like even before I got remarried, just the fact that I was with someone, and all of a sudden it seemed like there was people that were interested.
Ace
that
Trade
wouldn't
says I
never
like my
pop
women
up
married.
before.
To me. Ace Trade
Yeah.
says that was a bad call. Glad you didn't follow me.
It didn't go short? Oh, actually, it came back up, yeah. I don't know, dude. We really need to get together so that I can understand what your indicator is a bit better. Because I understand why it works, but I don't understand why it gives such low risk entries. And I really want to try and apply it to other things. And I kind of have an inkling of what causes it, because I've found a lot of things that tend to give me stuff in the same spots, but it's never exactly what you list. And what you list is almost always better. So yeah. Look at those treasuries are just getting killed, man. Okay, there's the Bitcoin. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, I don't know. So we used to, the way that I met my wife was through a Facebook group, and because it was like a singles Facebook group, and she was like new to the group, so I like snatched her up like right away. And once we were like officially dating, like boyfriend girlfriend, it was like suddenly people were more interested. Like you could just tell that people were more interested, and it was like 2 weeks ago you never spoke up, but it's like it does something in people's heads. It's like now that they can't have it, they want it. It's so weird, but this is just the way that people are. It happens in trading, right? Oh, I don't want to take that trade, and then it goes, it's like, oh, whoops, I should have done that. Regret. Our brains are wired to to FOMO, essentially. There's no way around that. So yeah, man, I'm wondering now how far down the treasuries can go. Where's my volume profile? They're still not as low as they were on Friday, but they just got killed when they dropped from 12. This appears very strongly to me to be a case where there's just too many long-term sellers in it, and the pressure is just down, and you can just pick a spot and sell it anywhere. And you have to hold it a long time, and you might take a lot of heat on it, but eventually it goes down. But I'm okay with what we did today. What should we call this video? That's the last thing that we got to do. And by the way, now that I've changed my bit rate, have you guys had less problems with the stream like cutting out on you? I think that probably helped a little bit. So you're saying now that someone had your house broken, you were of more interest to people? Yes. Tell my girlfriend it's my way or the highway. Yes, I do have to buy a lot of I'm a starting. Oh, Lewis, in high school, when walking alone, girls ignored me. When I was with a girl, girls took notice of me. Yeah, and he says that it was better. So I guess streaming at 5K was just not as good. I changed it the way that because I didn't think that I was consistently pushing out 6K, but now it says that I am. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Let's call this one, man. Even though that's not really what happened. Let's say bond holders continue to get slaughtered. That's what's really going on, folks. Yeah, cut out on me about 4 times this morning when you were playing with the new platform. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that cloud thing, it's a lot of graphical resources with as much as it's updating and stuff. Like, you should be able to change it and, have it at less of an update interval, much like you can in Jigsaw. Because I even on the E-mini, I don't think that the scale that we were had it at was useful. Like that would only be useful if you were like an algorithm. I can't trade that fast. So that's definitely something they should change. We can take a look at it. I'm sure that they'll fix it. He said they have like a really fast turnaround, so we might have another version here before the end of the week. Man, I'm just kind of feeling a little bit of FOMO because they are moving around a bit, but I don't know. I don't feel like that there's really a good opportunity for me. Check my morning notes for the directional call on ZB this morning. Oh, no, how come I can't? I have to dig in. I think that it's filtering you into like the updates or something because I don't see it in my inbox. I mean, obviously it's short, right? I mean, there's no question about that. There's no question that it's short. It's just like, which price do you take, right? I mean, like with this thing right here, do you really want to short 12.5? I don't know. My guess, we're talking about a new beta platform from Optimus Futures. You can rewind the video and you can take a look at it. It was pretty interesting. I think that there's a couple of things. It looks like it's really like it looks like they have a solid platform. There's a couple of things that I'd like to see them change that I think would help them out a lot at launch. Even then, there's going to still, they're not going to have as much stuff as other platforms, but that can come along as time, But it sure is pretty. Yeah, anyways. I don't know, I don't know if I can take 12.5. And then there's this thing, another thing is right now it seems like maybe you want to sell into 12. That would have worked in this case, but I don't know if it would have worked in the previous days. Does it have a good DOM? So it has a DOM. It's not as bad as the NinjaTrader 8 DOM. It's definitely better than the NinjaTrader 8 DOM. There's a couple of things that I do think that they need to change. But it's not as good as Jigsaw's DOM. And the guy, that gave me the platform, he said that, we're not looking to compete directly with Jigsaw because what they do is really good, and we're kind of more of like right now I run NinjaTrader 8 and Jigsaw. Maybe at some point I run Optimus and Jigsaw, that sort of a thing. So the thing that they do really well in the Optimus platform is the time price opportunity charts and stuff like that. So larger time frame stuff, it looks really, really good. Really, really solid. But they don't have the current trades column. And there's a couple of things about order entry that we suggested to them to fix. So I bet you they'll probably change those things and they'll be better. So yeah, but the thing that I think will be nice about it is it sounds like it'll be cheaper than Sierra charts. You'll get better functionality for your price. So it might be a really good option for new traders. Assuming that you're willing to pay a little bit more on commissions. Which, if you're a new trader and you need to call the broker, I think that that's a reasonable thing because some of the places the support is awful. I just thinking back on when I was trading, but first started trading my live account, I had to fix a couple of things with amp trading. And it took me a while before they gave me to somebody that knew what they were talking about. New drink. Okay, that sounds gross, but okay. In trading, I wait for a good trade, finally take the plunge, and a sure thing, nothing happens. Then all of a sudden, markets start booming higher or lower while I sit and wait on my dog market to move, right? It really is. Today was the best opportunity in treasuries that we've had all weeks. And it's been short, just like we've been expecting. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's actually good. I'm not. I hate the smell of coffee. I'll tell you what. The thing I find interesting, though, about it, of course, I expected treasuries to move down. So that just seems like it's just okay. But the thing that I find interesting is that when the interest rates move down, the equities don't like it. So that's something they did eventually move higher, but there was a couple of key spots where when the treasuries really fell, the E-mini fell a little bit too. So that kind of tells us a bit about what we want to do in the E-mini, right? If the treasuries are pushing down hard like they are now, we don't necessarily, that's not necessarily the best spot for our longs. And like right now at 3,200, like Ace actually says he got a short signal, right? 31.99.75. Like that's a reasonable short actually. My Bitcoin, this is financial. No, stop. It's going down. I really don't like the Bitcoin trade right now, but we'll see what happens. Okay, well, you know what, guys? I had a good day. Didn't take any trades, but enjoyed talking to you guys. Loved looking through that new platform. I'm kind of excited about it and see what they do with it. Maybe more stuff tomorrow. We'll see. But it's time for me to go, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. So, as always, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you can find us when we're live. And if you haven't checked out the Patreon, go ahead and check out the Patreon. Here's a thank you to our dedicated Patreon subscribers that have been subscribing for a long time. And when you subscribe, you get some exclusive Bitcoin valuation charts that we found very useful. And that's why I'm not so hot on Bitcoin right now, but you're going to have to go and see the charts to see what exactly we're seeing. 10K iceberg at 03. I will see you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.